Welcome in, everybody, to ZB's Horsepower Talk. As always, I'm ZB, Zack Brown. Now, listen, this is going to be a quicker episode than usual. It's been a busy week. We do have a lot of big-time things happening on this show coming up sooner than later, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow on all social media platforms, anywhere you get your podcast. Make sure you do subscribe to the YouTube channel and check out the TikTok, all that stuff, everything, all the video stuff will be posted on all of that. This is beneficial for this one, especially if you usually listen to the car. Make sure you give it a follow on the stuff you can watch while you're at home. Now, quicker episode, we're going to dive into predicting Daytona, the regular season finale for the NASCAR Cup Series. And we're also going to give my reaction to the schedule that has just been released for the 2026 NASCAR season. So, without further ado, let's dive in to Daytona. Predictions? The only prediction I can guarantee is expect the unexpected. It's Daytona. Anybody has a shot to win. Anyone can win. Last year, Harrison Burton won and got into the playoffs. We could potentially see a first-time winner. We could potentially see a first-time winner for this year locking themselves into the playoffs. There is going to be a lot of chaos at Daytona for the regular season finale. Prime time, Saturday night, doesn't get much better than this. Now, the regular season championship, William Byron's, unless something catastrophic happens, I think he has enough points to seal the deal on the regular season championship. He's 68 points ahead of Chase Elliott. I think all he really has to do is start the race. I think that's it, and he wins the regular season championship. Big benefits there. Major bonus points heading into the playoffs to potentially skyrocket you to likely the round of 8. So, congrats to William Byron. Consistency showed a lot. Chase Elliott's been consistent too. Hendrick Motorsports has had a very solid year so far, but does that mean they're going to win the championship? Absolutely not. Because what we've seen is that the playoffs are a completely different story. Somebody can come alive in the last 10 races, and it will be absolutely crazy to see. So, without further ado, let's get into our NASCAR fantasy lineups and race-winning picks for the regular season finale at Daytona. Now, on the screen, you can see that I have a points lead now. I am the leader in the league, finally, in NASCAR Fantasy. Now, I just basically need to have just a solid week, and I'll win the regular season fantasy. And then we'll figure out what goes on in the playoffs then. Pretty much down and out all the way through the summer coming up and fighting back hard. I clawed my way back to potentially win this championship. Not going to jinx it yet. So, for the lineups this week, obviously Dad's not on the screen right now, but he did send me everything for his fantasy. Dad's fantasy lineup this week, he's got Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, and Austin Cindric. His garage, and in the featured matchups this week, Austin Dillon versus Chris Buescher. He does have Chris Buescher. Tyler Reddick versus Alex Bowman. He has Alex Bowman on that matchup. Ryan Preece versus Kyle Busch. He has Ryan Preece over Kyle Busch. Understandably so. And Ty Gibbs versus Brad Keselowski. He does have Brad K for that one. Now, for mine, the one you really need to pay attention to, because clearly I'm the best at this fantasy. Just, Daytona might screw me over. I'm just going to be honest. But my starters this week, I have Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, Chris Buescher, Alex Bowman, and in the garage is Ryan Preece. And the featured matchups, they're all identical to Dad's. Chris Buescher over Austin Dillon, Alex Bowman over Tyler Reddick, Ryan Preece over Kyle Busch, and Brad Keselowski over Ty Gibbs. The hot picks this week, of course, you've got the two-time defending Daytona 500 champion William Byron, and Chris Buescher's a hot pick. You want to avoid Kyle Larson because, I mean, he's going to probably crash. It just doesn't matter where he ends up. He actually had a really good run at the last Talladega race. But I would not bet on him to do well. It says avoid Denny Hamlin. I don't really believe that because he's won Daytona. He's won Daytona 500, 3-4 times now? So, like, that, I don't really agree with that. That's why I got him in my lineup. And the sleeper is Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman has to get a win this week, guys. He has to win to get in. I believe so. Hold on. Maybe I just look at the playoff standings. Alex Bowman does not have to win. My bad. But if he wins, he's guaranteed to lock in. Now, he's last of the playoffs. So if there's a new winner outside of Tyler Reddick, he's kind of screwed. Well, he's not kind of screwed. He is screwed. He could make up ground on Tyler Reddick. He's 29 points behind Reddick. I think Reddick will have a solid run too. But here's who has to win. And these are the big names. Chris Buescher has to win. Ryan Preece has to win. Kyle Busch has to win. Ty Gibbs, Allmendinger, Brad Keselowski. These are the drivers that have to win. You obviously got everybody else. But those are the big names that have to get a big win here to lock themselves in. You might see all of RFK miss the playoffs unless one of them wins. So it's pretty crazy. You're going to see Fords work really well together at Daytona. They traditionally do it at all these tracks, but they somehow just can't finish with a win. I don't really understand what's been going on with them. But the race-winning picks for this week. So the race-winning picks this week are actually pretty easy. Dad and I are in agreement. We have Alex Bowman to win and punch his way into the playoffs. He's come so close. He is a sleeper, according to the experts of the fantasy, DraftKings, all that stuff. And I actually really agree with that. I think Alex Bowman has a big race, and I think he contends for the win. Plus 1,800, not a bad bet to make if you are doing sports betting. Alex Bowman to punch his way into the playoffs at the regular season finale, which would leave all these other drivers out, and Tyler Reddick would be in. Now, Tyler Reddick, he's going to be in the playoffs. He's locked himself in. It's literally the final spot. So, who gets this win? Comment down below who you think punches their way into the playoffs, or just simply wins the race if they're already in the playoffs. All right, now, the last thing I wanted to do, give my reaction to the 2026 NASCAR schedule. All right, here's the NASCAR schedule right on the screen for you. Starting off the Clash of Bowman Gray. Love it. Love it. I'm really excited that Bowman Gray gets another opportunity to host the season opener. Right below Daytona 500, obviously. Echo Park, Atlanta. COTA. Things up here pretty much the same. Now, what's really early, and it might be a little chilly, Darlington, March 22nd, where they've been racing in May. So I like Darlington on Mother's Day weekend, but Darlington, March 22nd, a little bit chilly. Martinsville, pretty much the same. Now off for Easter weekend. Love that. I'm glad they're off for Easter. They went away from that for a couple years, and that was dumb. Bristol Spring Race, Kansas, Talladega, all this pretty much the same. Texas. This is what's new. They've moved Watkins Glen from August to May. This is Mother's Day weekend right here. That is actually pretty crazy. I don't know what the temperature is in New York in May. It should be fine, but just Watkins Glen going to May is pretty insane to see. Now, the biggest news, the All-Star race. Dover will be hosting the All-Star race for the first time ever, which they lose a points race, which I'm okay with. I think Dover will be great for an All-Star race. I really do. And then you've got the Coke 600, like always. Nashville, Michigan, Pocono. This is really cool. The San Diego Fort race. I guess how you want to call it. Military base race. It's a the naval base out in San Diego. They're going to design their own course. Part of it's going to be on the runway out there, going around the whole facility. That'd be really, really neat to see. I'm all for that. I don't like the street courses and road courses, but having that with the military, I think that's really cool. So, but you're going back-to-back weeks here with a street/road course. So you got Sonoma right after that. Look what is back, though. This is what I'm talking about. This is a great July 4th weekend event. Chicagoland on July 5th. I am so excited that Chicagoland is finally back. This is the Chicago race they needed back. Chicagoland, with this package, with this next-gen car, will perform so well. I expect really, really good racing for that, and obviously we'll dive in when it gets closer to that. But I'm really, really stoked about that. Now, Atlanta, their second race is right after that. Put a little bit, some speedway racing, drafting racing. Look what's back in points racing, everyone. Over three decades. 4 decades. Three decades. Since the last points-paying race at North Wilkesboro, and Wilkesboro is back. 400 laps at Wilkesboro. That is going to be such a sight to see. The crowd is going to be amazing. I am so happy, and just I don't get excited about NASCAR making decisions because usually their decisions are very questionable. This is one of the best decisions they've made. Dale Jr. has been very vocal to get North Wilkesboro points race, and, well, job well done. It is back. Indies after that, obviously staying with the Brickyard, awesome. And then they're off. I like them being off in August, but this is the downside for them being off. They've got Iowa and then Richmond. Now, Richmond is Saturday night, August 15th. That is, for all the dirt racing fans, the same night as the Knoxville Nationals. So, Kyle Larson will not be racing in the 2026 Knoxville Nationals because of his schedule conflict at Richmond. Gives a lot of the other drivers opportunities to potentially win their first Knoxville Nationals. You saw a first-time winner this year, so you might see a lot of other teams step up to the plate, and perform. New Hampshire's after that, and then the regular season finale. New Hampshire's out of the playoffs next year, and the regular season finale is back at Daytona. I do like that. I like the regular season finale being in Daytona. It adds some excitement. And then the playoffs start with Darlington. It's actually the same as this year: Darlington, Gateway, Bristol. Then Kansas, Vegas, and why are we still doing the Charlotte Roval? Like, how many drivers is it going to take for NASCAR to change from the Roval back to the Oval in Charlotte? Make it the 500-mile race at Charlotte, and make that the last of one of the rounds. And I'm fine with that being the end of round 12. But Roval, really, we have to keep doing this. Drivers are tired of it. Fans don't really get much excitement. I've been there. I work at the race a lot of times, and it's just not the same. The energy's not the same. Everything's so spread out, and you just don't get the excitement that you would out of the Oval there, Charlotte. Make it a Saturday night in October and just have some fun. That would be incredible. I digress. The Phoenix, Talladega, Martinsville, I believe that's the same, well, minus Phoenix. Homestead's finally the championship next year. I'm for that. I'm for Homestead being the championship. With this package, it will put on great races. I like the All-Star and the championship race switching every couple years. So if you move the All-Star race in a couple years to Las Vegas, which would be really big, that would be cool. I think the championship race at Vegas could do well. I even think a championship race at Charlotte would do fine, and everybody's like, that's too cold. Well, the sprint cars race in November for the World Finals. Why not have the NASCAR championship race in November? I think that would do huge at Charlotte. It's where all the teams most of the teams are based out of. I think that's got to be considered. I really do. But I like it. For overall, this is a way better schedule next year than 2025 NASCAR is. Listening to fans, listening to drivers, except the Roval, and building the best schedule that they possibly can. So I'm for it. I'm excited to see it. Prime has some more races next year streaming, so I like that. I think Prime has actually the best broadcast crew right now, the best broadcasting in general. I just think Prime did it right. But what do you guys think of the NASCAR schedule? I think it's good. Let me know what y'all think. Well, that wraps it up for today. Shorter episode, like I said, with the predictions and the reaction to the NASCAR schedule. So hope everybody enjoyed this. Make sure you do share, like, subscribe anywhere you get your podcast, YouTube, social media, all that fun stuff. Follow me, all social media platforms. You can find it, ZB Horsepower. Nobody else has that, so check it out. We'll see you guys next week. Potentially a big-time episode next week. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, so we'll see you guys then.